Welcome. In this video, I will demonstrate how to annotate a poem. This annotation will help you complete a literary analysis. The poem will be Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. I will do a partial annotation so you can see the steps. The first step in SLAM is structure. One approach would be to look at the structure of the composition as a whole. Then look at the stanzas. And then, lastly, the lines. As we do, we will make notes, highlight, and draw in green. Firstly, the poem is short, which means that the poem has a simplicity to it. It will be easy to follow and read. It can be described as a lyrical poem. It will rely on a musical quality to elicit emotion. Having read the poem before doing this annotation, we know it is a first-person narrative, a compact story with a theme. Next, the composition has 4 stanzas. This arrangement tells us that each stanza, or paragraph, will have a supporting idea, which we will take note of later when we note meaning. Of note, each stanza has 4 lines. When we read the poem out loud, we notice that the lines are equal in the number of syllable pairs, or breaths, required. This repetition of line and syllable pair count has a pleasing effect. The second step in the SLAM annotation method is language. Here we will make notes about prosody, which is rhythm and rhyme, sensory language, and figurative language. And we will all do so all in orange. There is some definite prosody at work here. When we read the poem out loud, we notice a rhyme scheme, which we will note with letters. The first, second, and fourth lines have end rhymes. They are soft. They are pleasing. We also notice that there is a consistent meter pattern, iambic tetrameter, which means 4 stressed and unstressed syllable pairs per line. This pattern sounds like a march, a slow march. P.S. Don't fret about the fancy meter label. You need not know it, but you can certainly use it at the next poem party. Next, we can hear some alliteration. In this case, consonants, which is the repetition of consonants. Throughout. Take a look at the 4th line in the first stanza. Watch and woods have the w sound. The 3rd line in the 4th stanza has another, sounds and sweep. This repetition is pleasing, much like the other elements. Next, we find some sensory language. In the 1st line of the 3rd stanza, the horse gives his harness bells a shake. The line suggests an image of bells on his harness. It also evokes their sound. It is a pleasant sound, and shows the horse's confusion at stopping. The last line of the same stanza appeals to the senses, of easy wind and downy flake. The wind feels gentle, the flakes are soft. Lastly, there is some figurative language. The horse is personified, making him a character. The 2nd stanza, that begins, "My little horse must think it queer," assigns the horse a human-like ability, the ability to reflect. The 3rd stanza, that begins with him shaking his harness bells, shows him communicating. He is checking to see if there is a mistake. The 3rd step in the SLAM annotation procedure is to note the affect, the intended emotional response to be evoked. These are the impressions that are made upon the topic. in this case stopping by woods on a snowy evening. Looking back at our notes so far, we can see that the mood is pleasing and somber. There is a positive attitude towards the topic that we are encouraged to feel. There is also a slowness and steadiness created by the length of the lines, the repetition, and the sounds. Certainly, we are intended to feel the pause, the stopping. The final step in the slam annotation procedure is to make note of the meaning. As indicated in the title, this poem is about stopping in a place where one would not be expected to do so. In the story, the horse makes it clear that the place is an unusual place to stop. Watching woods fill up with snow does not seem an exciting or necessary task. However, it is given an importance. It is seen as pleasing and may be even needed. This pause, or this connection with nature and the world around, certainly feels significant. Certainly, this pause is interrupted. The narrator notes he must continue. He is reminded of his promises and his miles to go. He must return to the normal ride. The repeated lines ending in "before I sleep" suggest an end to a day, or perhaps even more. Having done an annotation, one can see how there is so much to this poem, so many ideas and impressions. Thanks for watching.